Okay, so let's talk about the three walls that are holding you from doing what you really want in life, or at least at this stage in your life. So these three walls are the obstacles that I have identified myself and also from talking to other people. When other people talk about something that they want to try but haven't done anything yet, they always have an excuse lined up. I mean, myself, I always have excuse lined up. So again, this is a personal experience, but I consider that for the majority of people, the obstacles are pretty much the same. And you might be identified with what I'm going to discuss in this video. So let's start right away. Now, I want you to think about a goal or a project or something that you want to do, but you have postponed for a long time. Do you have it? Okay. Now imagine that this is you. In this moment, you're right now, you're surrounded by walls. You live in a room. In this case, which is my case, this room has four walls. Now let's talk about each one of them and how they are holding you hostage when talking about your goals. Okay, so now let's, for the purpose of this video, we're going to focus first on these three walls. Consider the third one the toughest to pass or destroy. So wait for it. Okay, now let's go with the first one. And the first one is called impatience. You're impatient, meaning that you want things in life, and on top of that, you want them now, and you want them fast. So this is obvious, right? But let's see how impatience manifests in your mind, because it is not super easy to become aware of it. When thinking about your goals, if you get thoughts like, I will need to wait 2 years to see results, or question yourself with something like, how much time will it take to get me to that goal? That means that yes, you're an impatient person. And from impatience derive things like laziness, apathy, okay? But that's another topic. So be aware of these kind of thoughts because they are a huge blocker, huge, huge, huge. They are able to completely freeze you, okay? So that was impatience. So let's go for the second wall. And that one is very straightforward. It is perfectionism. So no matter what happens, never is the right moment. Never, right? Let's take me for example. To make this video, which is something that I wanted to do for a long time, I thought things like, yeah, but my English is not good enough, or I'm not good at expressing myself, things like that, right? Also, another thing to be aware of is that you have those thoughts, and in order to get the so-called perfect state, you buy a new course or you read more books, um, just to improve in that area that you think that you're lacking. But well, let me tell you that, uh, well, bad news. You are doing you are doing this to delay taking action, right? So that means if you buy a course, uh, read more books, you need to just delay the action uh, with the excuse that you are preparing yourself to be better, right? So other typical thoughts are, I don't have the right camera, I don't know the right people to start this business, etc., etc. I mean, you name it, right? So perfectionism is a dream killer from my point of view, and it also freezes you a lot like impatience. Okay, so we have two walls covered, so now let's go with the third one. And for me, this one is the hardest wall to pass, to destroy, right? So the third wall is called caring what others think of you. And yes, this is huge, right? It is not so easy to become aware of it, unfortunately. So you might say that you really don't care about other people's opinion on a daily basis. But when you think about starting something new, your goals, etc., someone might come to your mind, and that reflects that actually you care about what other people think of you. And also reflects that you think too much about it. So how to identify if you care too much? Uh, let's now try the following. When you think about your goal or something that you want to do, in those moments that are like almost like if you were daydreaming, if at some point the image of someone comes to your mind, I mean, it does not need to be saying anything, just the image of a person is enough. And if the sensation that you get from that image or from that person is lack of motivation, lack of energy, desire, then that means that that person, uh, that you are worried about what that person think. I mean, it can be one person, it can be more than one person, but that's a clear sign that you are that you care too much about those what that person think about you. So that is the person that you care too much about. And this person can be a friend, can be your mom, your dad, your siblings, etc. Okay, so be aware of this. The next time you got yourself like daydreaming or thinking about your goals, if someone appears to your mind and automatically you feel lack of motivation or that you don't want to do that thing, I mean, if that the image of that person stops you, then yep, you care about what other people think. But be very aware of that. Okay, so what's the solution? So you might ask yourself right now, man, how the hell can I destroy those walls? To be honest, for me, just thinking about destroying those walls is already overwhelming. So the solution I propose here for now is simpler and automatically will take those walls down, or at least to a level that you would be able to jump over them and continue the way towards your goals. Remember, I told you that this room is made of 4 walls. We already talked about 3 of them, but what about the 4 wall? Yeah, so let's talk about it. Right now, you are too close to these 3 walls that we just talked about, and the only thing that you can possibly see is those walls. Okay, so you now have to stop looking at them. Stop paying too much attention to those walls. So one thing that you can do is to look to your back, to turn around and see that 4 wall. The 4th wall, you will see normally there is a door, which is easy to pass. I mean, you need to open it and walk through it, and that's it. And once you do that, you will leave the room that is trapping you. And so once you're out that room, you can start making progress towards your goals. So I'm using the door because you need to open it and walk through it, but you need to do something. Opening that door and walking through it represents the action that is the first step to start walking the path towards what you want to do. For example, the action can be apply for that job, talking to that attractive person on the street, or for me, making this first YouTube video, etc. etc. Okay, so the conclusion here is that you don't have to destroy your walls directly, you don't have to take them down. In this case, you just have to realize that there are always going to be obstacles, and for the majority of them, you have to pass those obstacles. You don't have to destroy them, but pass through them. The kind of obstacles that I previously discussed can be passed by going in completely opposite direction. This is where, in this case, I'm making this first video. I mean, those 3 walls, they still exist for me, but I decided to turn around and stop staring at those walls and take that leap towards something that I wanted to do, which is to talk about my experience in life. So the real victory here is the relief that you will get from just taking the first step and realizing that you are capable of liberating yourself from your own cage. Okay, so I'm talking about here of 3 walls or 3 obstacles, but you can have 4, you can have 5, you can have 10 obstacles, a room made of 10 walls. But there always will be one wall left, and in that wall normally there's a door, and the door is the way out to that cage that is trapping you. So just realize that you made this trap for you, that you created this room for you, but there is also a wall in that room that contains the door, that if you open it and walk through it, you will be liberated from that prison that you made for yourself. Okay, so this is what I have for you today. If you like this video, comment below if you identify more obstacles in your life, and subscribe, and see you in the next one.